How you doing? I'm Brother Melvin. As you can see, I'm getting ready to go into my room to shoot the program. Come on into my room. This is my room. Come on in. Welcome to Come On In My Room. Come on in my room.
Come on in my room.
Y'all come on in. Welcome to Come On In My Room. Mark, it's Monday.
Yes, sir.
It must be time for Come On In My Room.
That's right.
Hey, I first of all just like to say, man, we had today was a feast day.
Yes, sir.
Man, we enjoyed the feast day, man. Everything is going good.
That's
Mark,
right.
I feel good.
Right.
Full of food.
That's right.
You look a little full yourself.
I look full.
Yeah, just look full. You know,
I'm Brother Mark.
I'm Brother Melvin. Come on in my room. But as always, we always have to give a God is first before we get started.
That's right.
Oh, great God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of all creation. Lord, we come lifting you up, giving you the praise, thanking you for another day, Lord. Lord, I ask you to be with us as we do this show, Lord, to get everybody on one accord on your word, Lord. We thank you. We praise you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen.
Hey, this is the show, brothers and sisters. Everybody know what this show is about. This is the show about getting everybody on one accord with God's word. Remember, you have to leave your
organization believe
at the door. Me and Mark and dumped our organization believe right now. You know what your organization believe? Whether you're Baptist, Methodist, a Jehovah's Witness, leave it at the door.
That's
because
right,
we gonna get on one accord by dealing with what we call this here.
The boss.
This is the boss. This is the Bible.
The book is the boss.
This is the Bible. This what. If everybody read this book, Mark, I truly believe if you read in Memphis and you read in the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. What are you gonna say in Memphis?
In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth.
What about in California?
In the beginning, God created heaven and earth.
What about in Jamaica?
In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth.
He's going to say the same thing.
Say the
same thing everywhere. So that's how you get on one accord. But as you know, we dealing with, last week, we started the little series dealing with Black history.
That's right.
You know, we call it Black history, but it's really biblical history.
Biblical history. That's
biblical
right.
history. And Mark, I was thinking something that's so important. We call it Black history, but this is really God's plan to recover this man.
That's right.
And it's just the people that he's using.
That's right.
You know, because it ain't about Black history. It's more like what God is doing to recover this man. And it just so happened the people that he's using are peoples of color.
That's right.
You know. So we've been, because last week we was identifying what color are the peoples in the Bible. Because last week we ended right at the time Jacob had went down into Egypt, and the word Egypt means black.
Right.
And Joseph, his own brothers didn't recognize him.
Right.
Now we established if the Jews look like the Jews are today, they should have been able to recognize Joseph.
That's right.
Then when they went out and buried their father,
that's what we ended.
And we ended right there.
Right.
It was a Egyptian and Israelite together.
Right.
And the people of the land say it's a great mourning for the Egyptian.
That's
Why
right.
they didn't see Israel there?
Right.
So this is just something to make you think, brothers and sisters. But we done did basically the beginning of the Bible, and you know we have established Even if you don't establish nothing else, we didn't establish the first people in this Bible that the word of God deal with, they're black.
Black, yep.
They black. You know, so we going to pick this thing up today. Now we going to pick it back up and start to deal with this color. But we going to go into Exodus this time, because once the children of Israel went down into Egypt, which that's, you do know Egypt's in Africa, right?
Yes, sir.
You know,
right
but I didn't know that when I grew up in the church.
Either,
I never knew Egypt was in Africa.
That's right.
You know, you see how the deception is in. We was brought up, and when they showed us Moses leading all these people out of a black nation, all of them was white.
White, yep.
You think somebody trying to fool us?
I think they did.
They did fool us.
Right.
You know, now this is what we hear. We trying to set the record straight by just reading the word of God.
Right.
Now we got Israel down in Egypt. And last week I asked you this big question. There's two blacks here. It's the Egyptian and the Israelite. Mr. African American, which one of them is you?
That's right, bro.
Which one of these people are you?
That's right.
You know.
That's right. And you might think this is not important, but if it wasn't important, it wouldn't be in the book.
But and then another something like I think we can establish, if you don't know who you are, then you don't know who your God is.
That's right.
Because
that's right, bro.
We gonna show you that one of these blacks that's here is the one that God made the covenant came through.
That's right.
So, you know, but you got to find out, Mr. Afro-American, Mr. Negro, which one of them is you? You got to find that out.
That's right, bro.
You know, so we're going to start this in Exodus, the first chapter, because this is when they first went down into Egypt, man. Our time go by so fast. You know, we got to roll with this thing.
Yes, it does.
You know, but hey, if we have to stay on another week to get it right, I'm like James Brown. We going to do it until we do it to death.
That's right.
Okay, brother. Let's start Exodus 1. Exodus 1, let's pick it up at verse 1. Go ahead.
Now these are the names of the children of Israel.
Now this is the children of Israel. Go ahead.
Which came into Egypt.
Go ahead.
Every man in his household came with Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls.
So what went down in Egypt was souls. They left their body somewhere else.
No, sir. No, sir.
He said 70 souls. When I wonder what happened to their body.
Soul is the body.
The soul is the body.
That's right.
The soul is the body. Go ahead.
But Joseph was in Egypt already.
Go ahead.
And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation.
So you got two groups of black peoples here.
Right.
The Israelites and the African. See, because everybody think we African.
That's right, bro.
I'm telling you, know, we got two different people with the same color.
Right.
You know, it was good that we had a black president, but when I checked the notes, Israel still ain't had no black president. Because Obama, hey, love the brother, but Obama was a Hamite.
That's right, bro.
You know, he was black, but he won Israel. You know, and if all you have to do is go read a little history, you'll discover that Ham is the father of the black race, but not the Negro race.
That's right, bro.
So go read. Don't take my word for it. Go read it on your own. You know, you gonna find out, brother. You know, this is another something we need to. I think we need to do some flushing right off the bat here.
Why not?
You know, they say we was kings and queens down in Africa, in Egypt. When was we king? Joseph was the second man in charge, but he wasn't no king.
That's right, bro.
We wasn't no kings in Africa. See, that's where they get all mixed up. You got to separate these two people.
That's right, bro.
You know, so let's flush that thing. We was kings and queens down in Africa.
You getting better and better because you like to flush in the beginning.
Yes, sir.
And I like
yes,
that.
Sir. Do you want to?
Let me do this.
Go ahead, man.
All
right.
We're going to flush that.
I've been talking to Dr. Foddy. You know I called Dr. Foddy.
But that's okay. That's just one flush, man.
Okay, he said what, 3?
He said 3. So
okay,
we got 2 more to go.
You got 2 more, then I'm going to call Dr. Foddy.
Right,
but yeah, I want to establish that. I want to establish that, you know, you got 2 peoples that's the same color.
Right.
Black. But one of these people are the one that God bring his covenant down. That's why I say this ain't necessarily black history. This is history of God bringing his covenant down through man, and just so happened he used some black people.
That's right, bro.
But somebody was trying to fool us. What verse we stop at, Mark?
We are at verse 7.
Go ahead and read.
And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them.
Go ahead.
Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
See, now new king taking all of Joseph in that first group, they done died off. Now look what happened. Go ahead.
And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
It's always more us than anybody. Go ahead.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass. And it come to pass that when they're fall about any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
See, they want to get Israel up out of the land. Another black trying to get another black up out of the land. Go ahead. Right.
Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses.
See, I'm glad you didn't mess that up, because now we find out who built those pyramids.
That's right.
Israel was the one built those pyramids.
That's right.
Israel built them. That's who built those pyramids. Go ahead.
But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
Man, we was grieving. That's how they, when y'all move in the neighborhood, man. That's why they had to build, when you move in now, you have to build bigger school.
That's right.
Y'all grieve people, man. So they was grieving these Egyptians.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
Okay, sound like the children of Israel was in captivity, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So who was the first somebody to hold us in captivity? Egyptian. So why should I want to call myself a African American? And this African was the first one. No, I ain't hating on nobody.
That's right, bro.
Because I know God's hand is in all of this.
That's right.
Why would I want to call myself? Why don't I call myself a white American? Right. They held me in captivity.
Right.
But who was the first somebody to hold Israel in captivity? Somebody that looked just like you. Go ahead and read.
And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor.
Now, you say all manners in the field. You know, one of the biggest crop in Africa is what? Cotton.
Cotton, yeah.
Cotton is real big in Africa. Yes, so that's why when the Americans decide we need some slaves, why don't we bring them on into America?
Right.
Because cotton was big.
That's right.
Big in Africa. Go ahead.
And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives.
Now, look what he said to these midwives. You know what a midwife is?
Yes.
See, I was brought in the world by a midwife.
Oh, no.
See, you was born in the city.
In the hospital.
Yeah. Just, okay.
I'm just saying.
I was brought up in the South.
Oh.
You got a problem with that?
No, sir.
Okay. So, and I was brought in the world by a midwife.
Oh.
Miss Tim.
That was her name?
Miss Tim.
Okay.
She the one fill out my birth certificate and everything. Her name is on there. I was brought in the world by a midwife. Go ahead.
And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shapharah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said,
oh, that Pookie. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew woman, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
Now you see what these Egyptians was finna do to us? They would have wiped us completely off the map.
That's right, bro.
Because this is what a lot of people don't. The man, the one that carried the seed.
That's right.
And they know if they kill all the Israelite men and keep the ladies, then all the babies gonna be Egyptian.
That's right.
That's what. See, that should kind of open your eyes why the Bible. Sometimes people thinking the Lord overlooked ladies in the Bible, but God deal with that seed.
That's right.
And that's why when you read the Bible in Genesis, he said Enoch had son.
Right.
And then at the end, he'll say he had son and daughter. But he named the son because God is dealing with that seed because the man is the one carrying the seed. And guess what? Seed do not split.
That's right.
Seed do not split. If your father is black, if he mess with a Spanish lady, the kid's still gonna be black. Gonna be black. Sometimes we get color mixed up. What color the kid is?
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with it. His seed is what made his. If he's black, I don't care if the kid turn out white. If his father's black, that kid is a black kid.
That's right, bro.
And that's what we need to understand. And these Egyptians knew that way back then. They knew if they got rid of all, man, it's been a hit out on our brothers ever since we've been here.
That's right. Bro.
He said, when it's a man, get rid of him. Woman, keep her.
Keep her.
Ain't that something? They was going to genocide us and make Israel actually disappear.
Yes,
but look at these midwives. I like these girls. Go ahead.
But the midwives feared God.
Ain't that something that's good, ain't it?
And yes, it is. And did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men, children alive.
Go ahead.
And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have you done this thing, and have saved the men, children alive?
Now look at these women. Go ahead.
And the midwife said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian woman.
So we ain't like them Egyptian women. Go ahead.
For they are lively.
Man, now you see, man, now, brothers, y'all better listen. Y'all better listen. Them Hebrew women is lively. I look up that word lively, boy. Woo, there's a lot of stuff go with that lively. So when you get you a Hebrew woman, she's lively. She ain't like them Egyptian woman. Y'all can't get crazy with Israel.
That's right, man.
I looked that up. So even Pharaoh said, man, what's wrong with these women? These women had a lot of mouths. So Pharaoh, I ain't killing nobody.
Right.
So y'all know me, brothers. When y'all get y'all a Hebrew Israelite woman, they lively. You better remember that right from the book. Go ahead.
For they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them.
Go ahead.
Therefore God dealt well with the midwives.
Now look what God did to the midwife. Look what God dealt well with the midwife. Go ahead.
And the people multiplied and waxed very mighty.
Israel was steady growing. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses.
Oh, you see what happened when you fear the Lord?
Yes,
Lord,
sir.
take care of you. And that's the same attitude you got to have now when somebody threatens you. You know, hey, if you're going against the word of God, then you stand with God.
That's right, brother.
You know, God will elevate you. Don't. You know, sometimes it might seem scary. I used to do that on my job when I had the Lord with me. I would stand. Sometimes I couldn't get some of the other brothers to say, but I stood on God's word.
Praise the Lord.
And the Lord brought me through. I know they should have fired me. I got 31 years. They should have fired me. I shouldn't have got but 1 year. Go ahead and read that. Read that next
the Lord
verse.
is merciful.
Oh, man, tell me about it. Yeah. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive.
This guy's still genociding, but you won't be called African American. That's because you don't know your history, bro.
That's right, bro.
And like I said, we ain't hating on nobody.
That's right.
Ain't hating on nobody. We just get some knowledge and understanding. You know, you don't want to be called a Hebrew Israelite, but you want to be called by the guy that was trying to exterminate you.
That's right, bro.
Come on, man. Let's go right on into Exodus, the 2nd chapter. Because we got to do some reading, Mark. Because I want this to be clear. Now we finna get down to this guy called Moses. Go right on into chapter 2 and go ahead and read it.
And there went a man of the house of Levi, and took to wife a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months.
Now she hid Moses for 3 months. Now this is Moses he's talking about. But something I missed when we were naming off all them boys. Them 12 tribes. One was named Judah.
Right.
You know, Jews only come out of that one boy. Jews only come out of Judah.
That's right. Bro.
Jesus was a Jew because he came through Judah's lineage.
Right.
David was a Jew. But
That's
now
right.
Moses we see is a Levite.
That's right. Bro.
But they all what?
Israel. That's right.
They all Israelite. Go ahead.
And when she could not longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes, and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein, and she laid it in the flags by the river's brink.
See, she couldn't hide Moses. He was getting too big. looking all out the window and stuff.
Right.
And Peter said, no, she looked like a little old boy up in there.
Right.
So she said, so she know they was going to get him and kill him. Go ahead. You know how Israel is. He is all in the window playing. Go ahead.
And his sister stood afar off to wit what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river.
See now, you see what the Lord doing? He finna lead Moses right up in a black house.
Yes, sir.
He's a Pharaoh's house. Go ahead.
And her maidens walked along by the riverside. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maids to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child. And behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him and said, this is one of the Hebrew children.
See, she knew there was one of the Hebrews,
right.
but she had compassion. She
right.
seen a little baby. You know, everybody have compassion.
That's
if
right.
you got any kind of you have compassion, you see a little baby crying. Go ahead.
Right. Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee?
Now you see on Charleston Hester, when he play on the Ten Commandments, he don't know. You know, they act like Charleston Hester didn't know he was a Hebrew Israelite.
Right.
I'm trying to wonder why they just couldn't write the story the way the Bible said.
Right.
You know, now this was the first lady to right here, the nurse be put on the payroll for nursing. Go ahead. You know.
And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go. And the maid went and called the child's mother.
So he went and got Moses' mama. Go ahead.
Right. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages. And the woman took the child and nursed it.
I don't guess those public aid back then. No, we ain't gonna say that. We ain't gonna go there. She was getting paid.
That ain't no aid.
You don't think that was the first public aid check?
No, brother. She was getting paid for working, bro.
Okay. She was working right. Go ahead. I don't. See, you going somewhere. Go ahead.
And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter. Excuse me. And he became her son, and she called his name Moses. And she said, because I drew him out of the water.
Now, all of a sudden, now Moses went from being Israelite son to an Egyptian son.
That's right.
Now Moses had to be some of size by that time.
Right.
So, but can you imagine when that girl Pharaoh's daughter brought that baby to her father, and this is the person he's supposed to be killing?
That's right.
What you think he would have said? Just imagine if he was Bishop Bowinkle. What you think he would have said? Hell no to the no. That's what he said. This ain't none of your baby.
Right.
There's no way. You know, how you gonna bring a baby if this baby look like what the Jews look like now? And Moses, he got Moses on his knees. Where you get this baby from?
Right.
And this is the people you're supposed to be killing, and he
right.
didn't recognize that?
Oh, that's right. He would have said that, bro.
I'm glad Bishop Bowinkle wasn't there. Because I know you would have said that. What verse we stop at, man?
Yeah, he left.
Man, we got to keep Bishop Bowinkle out of our room, man. We had verse 11. Go ahead.
Sir. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brethren and
his brother. See, Moses know his brother was a Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way.
He said, wait. He looked around.
And that way.
He looked the other way. Go ahead.
And when he saw that there was no man.
He said, man, ain't nobody. You out here messing with one of my brothers, man. Look what Moses did.
He slew the Egyptian.
He slew that Egyptian.
And hid him in the sand.
Stuffed him in the sand. Go ahead.
And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow?
He said, come on, man, you brother. That's the thing the Lord been trying to get in our head all along. We brothers. Why are we killing each other?
That's right, bro.
Go ahead.
And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me, as thou killest the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known.
Because once it get to our mouth, we
really
going to tell everybody.
Yeah,
You know, you tell someone, look, man, don't tell nobody. And then what you, well, I'm going to tell one somebody. And then you'll tell them, look, I don't supposed to be telling you that.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you, I seen Moses.
Right.
You know, I seen Moses kill this. Moses know them Hebrew Israelites they was talkers back then. So Moses knew this thing was out. So Moses ran because he know Pharaoh was gonna kill him. So let's skip all the way down. Moses ran, and then Moses came into another land. Where these ladies were at. So what verse we stopped at?
We're at 15.
We'll skip down to 16. Go ahead.
Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters.
Now Moses went to the land. He done ran up on the priest. They got 7 daughters.
And they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock.
Go ahead.
And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock.
And Moses was a fighter, wasn't he?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
To be so meek.
Right. I love that kind of meekness. Go ahead.
And when they came to rule their father, he said, "How is it that ye are come so soon today?"
See, apparently these shepherds would always make them ladies work, probably took their water, did some of everything. So all of a sudden they got back early, so they father said, "How y'all get back so early?" Go ahead.
And they said, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand."
That got to be, is that Egyptian or Hebrew Israelite?
And they said, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds."
So how did Moses, being a Hebrew Israelite, they thought he was an Egyptian? Apparently it was because of the clothing.
That's right.
Because they had the same skin complexion. Because the word Egypt means black, so Moses was mistaken for an Egyptian.
Right.
You know, he said that the Egyptian delivered us out of his hand. Now let's go right on into Exodus 4. Let's go into Exodus 4 because I want to show you something here. But we're gonna skip down to verse 21. Exodus 4, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 21 because we started dealing with color to show you what color the peoples are in the Bible.
That's right, bro.
You know, this is not a black thing. This is a word of God thing.
That's right.
You know, unfortunately, the story is about black people. But how did it get white? We're going to tell you that as we go along. Exodus 4 and 21, read that.
And the Lord said unto Moses, when thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all the wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thine hand.
Now he finna send Moses back down into Egypt to deliver, because Moses got comfortable down there with them 7. Well, he was only dealing with one, with his wife.
That's right.
And, right, you know.
That's right. Stick with the book.
Yeah, stick to the
Stick
strip.
with the book.
You know, he's down there with 7 ladies, but Moses only had one wife.
That's right.
Right. You know, but he had got comfortable around them ladies.
Right.
You know, and he said, hey, I'm satisfied. But the Lord wasn't satisfied with Moses. He had something for him to do.
That's
so
right.
now he's sending Moses back down to Egypt. But like I said, when you get time, you sit down and read the story.
That's
now
right.
you have some understanding that you're dealing with black people here. Go ahead.
But I will harden their hearts. I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord.
Now look what he finna say to Pharaoh. Thus saith the Lord. Go ahead.
Israel is my son.
Oh, Israel is God's son.
Yes, sir.
That's who we are. We are God's son. But you want to be an African American.
Teach, bro.
You don't want to be God's son. You see how important your job just got. You God's son. That's who Israel is.
That's right, bro.
There's no need. Don't be ashamed to be called an Israelite, because now we got some Israelite out here might not be acting the way they should act. But hey, I'm proud to be a Hebrew Israelite. I am very proud to be a Hebrew Israelite because I know I'm not no Negro.
That is right.
I know I'm not black. I know I'm not an African American. I am a son of who? Son of God.
That's right.
That's who Israel is.
Son of God.
God said we was his son.
That's right. You want me to
If
read
you
that
don't
again?
want to read it again.
Israel is my son.
Israel is God's son. Go
That's
ahead.
right.
Man, we getting fired up here, look like.
Even my firstborn.
That's his firstborn. That means he gonna have some more sons.
That's
but
right.
we the firstborn.
That's right.
Ain't nothing wrong with don't be ashamed to be a Hebrew Israelite. You know, don't allow what they did with Negro. See, some people are ashamed to be Negro, but that ain't who we are. We are Hebrew Israelite, and don't never be ashamed of being who you are. Bro. And as you read this story, I'm gonna show you what your job's supposed to be.
That's right.
The responsibility of being God's firstborn.
That's right.
You know.
And then maybe we can get on our job, right?
We got to get on our job.
That's right.
I'm gonna show you the job we got. Now let's go into Exodus 12. We just kind of just weaving through. Let's go to Exodus 12 because we got to get the Hebrew Israelite from among these Egyptians.
That's
Let's go to Exodus 12 and pick it up at verse 1. Exodus 12 and verse 1. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
Now, do you see what God just did there?
Yes,
and I have to say this because sometimes I see out on Facebook, we be too hard on people when these people's dealing with New Year. This ain't the New Year. But God changed the year. He changed the calendar right here.
That's right, bro.
So if you don't understand the word of God, you don't know that January ain't the beginning of the year. So the people that are out there celebrating, my Hebrew Israelite brothers, stop knocking them, but teach them.
That's right, bro.
You know, teach them, say, God changed the year right here. Read that again, the first two verses. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
For you. He was talking to who? Israel.
That's right.
So if you ain't Israel, if you think you're a Negro, you don't know the year that God started your year over. You don't have a clue of it. But I'm going to show you, being the son of God, this is the thing that we supposed to do, is teach our brother. What's the older brother supposed to do to the younger brother?
Teach him.
Teach him. Now skip down to verse 29, because we going to get us up out of Egypt. We've been down there a long time. Verse 29, go ahead.
And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the cattle.
Now he did all that. Once he did that, the Pharaoh called Moses, man, get these Hebrews. I don't know if he was using no slang, but he said, man, get them from among me.
Right.
Because it got too hot in that kitchen. He wanted them Israelites, them so-called African American from among the true Africans.
That's right.
So, man, get these guys from among us. Now, skip down to verse 30. Skip down to verse 33. Go ahead.
And the Egyptians were urging upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste.
Get these colors, these Negroes, whatever they was called. But you see, it's one black separating from another black.
That's right.
You better find out which one you are. And stop. Your first captain, my African-American brother, was your African brother in Egypt. That was your first captivity. Now you breaking away from this. Go ahead.
For they said, we be all dead, man.
So they had to get them out. Skip down to 36 and go ahead.
And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians.
Man, them Israelites went in there and took everything.
Yeah.
And the Lord gave them, well, can I have that? But just take it. What about that? Just take it.
Right.
Y'all just get on up out of here.
That's right.
But we can aggravate some people. So he had to get on up out of there. Right. Read the next verse.
And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men besides children.
Now we went in there 70 souls. Now it's 600 men, not the women and children.
600,000.
600,000. We went in there as 70 souls and come out a nation.
That's right, brother.
Now you got to ask the question, what happened to this nation?
That's right.
And how did we left out of there? We was black. Now all of a sudden we done turned white. And then, what was strange, and this is another something we need to flush down too, Mark. I just thought about that. Sometimes I used to be complaining, I used to drive and I would be on the CB radio and I get to talking about some of the things going on. And then some of my European brothers would say, well, why you complaining? Your own people sold you into slavery.
Right.
No, my own people didn't sell me into slavery.
That's right. That's
somebody that looked like me sold me into slavery. Mm-hmm. Your African brother sold you into slavery. Matter of fact, it was some stuff going on right now. About earlier this year, one group, a whole nation was apologizing to another nation for selling them in slavery. Ooh, I can't put my hand on that, but I'm going to look that up and show it that they came in and apologized for that, But your African brother was the first one to hold you in captivity. Where we stop at, Mom?
38.
Read that 38.
And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle.
Now they left out of that, Israel left out of that rich. They served, let's see how long they was down. Let's skip down to verse 40 and go ahead.
Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years.
Now you know what I got. What I want to check on this 430 years. Is that including before they became in captivity? All this is captivity time. Right. Now I got to look that up because they was there until that one generation died off. Is that part of that 400 some years? I have to check that out.
Right.
Go ahead and read the next verse.
And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day it came to pass that all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt.
And they went out from the land of Egypt. One group of black people separated themselves from another group of black people. But you know what you have to realize when you're dealing with this too, how God is operating. Noah had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. The Lord gave each one of these boys a chance to kind of rule the world.
That's right.
Now what we reading about now is Ham was really kind of in charge then. That's right. Now Shem, which is Israelite, now they finna kind of taking control as we move forward in this story. Like I told you last week, the Bible followed Israel.
That's right.
In the Old Testament, Israel is around Ham.
That's right.
And when you go to the New Testament, Israel is around Japheth, which is the European.
That's right.
Because the story followed God's covenant. God started with Abraham. He went to Isaac. Then he went down to Jacob. Come out of Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel. Mm-hmm. The covenant is coming through these guys. So the story followed them. Now let's go into Matthew and let's look at a little old baby. Let's look at a little old bitty baby. Little old bitty baby, little old white baby they sent down. Let's go into Matthew 2, and we're going to look at a little bitty white baby they sent down in Africa to hide him. Matthew 2, because I know you know this is a little white baby, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
But we're going to see what the book says.
We're going to see what the book says. Matthew 2 and 1. Go ahead.
Now, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem.
Now, I ain't even mentioned about 3 wise men because they don't tell you how many wise men there. So we can't get into that. He said wise men. And now we're dealing with Jesus. Go ahead.
Saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews?
The King of the Jews. Go ahead.
For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him.
See, Herod was troubled because he was the king of the Jews.
That's
right. He said, who is this new king of the Jews he was thinking about? Skip down to verse 7 and go ahead.
Then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared.
See, he wanted to kill this boy because he said, hey, man, I don't want nobody to threat to my throne. I'm the king of the Jews. We going here for one summer. Now, once these wise men left, God warned them. Skip down to verse 12 and go ahead.
And being warned of God in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way.
They went in their own country another way. They took the back road.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Keep going.
Yeah.
And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother.
Wait a minute. The baby.
Young child.
What happened to the baby?
Young child.
The young child. Go ahead.
And his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word, for Pharaoh will seek the young child to destroy him.
So they're married. Mary, she was white. Joseph was white. And now they're taking this little white baby down in an all-black nation. How long you think you could find it?
Easy.
About 2 hours you should be able to find this white family among all these black families.
That's right.
That's just like if they was going to hide me somewhere, would they hide me on 63rd Street or would they hide me out in Harper's Estate?
They put you on the tray, bro.
They got to put me on 63rd.
Yeah,
see, I can hang around on 63rd. They never would find me.
Right.
But soon they throw me out in the hospital, put me out in Barrington.
Right.
I'm telling you, you can send Ray Charles out there and he'll find me. So there he is right there.
They'll find you with the quickness, bro.
So, but see, Jesus was a Hebrew Israelite. And why would they send, see, God is all wise.
Yes,
he
sir.
sent a black family among other black people.
That's
and
right.
so when they got down to Egypt, they just another black family down there.
Right.
You know, God know what he's doing.
That's right.
You know, God know what he's doing. Now let's go and look at another guy. Let's go to Acts let's go to Acts the 11th chapter right quick. We're gonna read that first. We're gonna deal with Paul right quick. We're gonna read one verse and show you
Romans 11?
Yeah, Romans 11. And we'll read verse 1. We see so many people, if you look at Paul, the way they portray Paul, you would think he's a Gentile or European. But Paul gonna tell you who he is. Go ahead, read that. Verse 11 and 1. Go ahead.
I say then, have God cast away his people?
He said, have God cast away Israel? What did Paul say?
God forbid. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
And I'm going to tell you now, have God cast away his people? October, what's the date? You should always keep up with the date.
Today the 14th.
The day the 14th.
That's right.
October. You should remember it's Columbus Day. That guy that claimed he...
That's why I don't remember.
You know that guy was putting the flag down when people standing there.
We ain't gonna go there.
We ain't gonna mess with Columbus.
Right.
That discovered something where people's already at.
Right.
You know, we ain't
gonna go there.
But October the 14th, God still haven't cast his people. Who do you think talking right now? We are Hebrew Israelites.
That's right.
But only one some. We don't know which tribe we from.
That's right.
This guy knew he was from the tribe of Benjamin.
Yes, sir.
But let's go and see. Now, he knew he was a Hebrew Israelite. Let's go to Acts the 21st chapter. And let's see what they thought Paul was. This is way down the road. Way down the road. We started getting accused of being who we not.
That's right.
A person that we not. 21, and we're going to pick it up at verse 37. 21, and pick it up at verse 37. Go ahead.
And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee?
Them people beating Paul up. Paul was getting roughed up. So now they leading him in the castle. Go ahead.
Who said, Canst thou speak Greek?
So the guy said, man, can you speak Greek? Go ahead.
Art not thou that Egyptian?
He said, Paul, ain't you that Egyptian? Why didn't he say you that Hebrew Israelite?
Right.
We just read that Paul is from the tribe of Benjamin. Why is he getting mixed up with the Egyptian?
That's right, brother.
You notice you don't get mixed up with no Egyptian, do you? You don't get mixed up with no Egyptian. You get people. So many people think you African, though.
Right.
Still think they still getting it wrong.
That's right. We even think we African. Not us, but I'm talking about our people. Because you better not. I know you better not.
You used to have an African name when you...
No.
Okay, yeah. You never call yourself Columba? Just messing with you. We don't want to go.
Come on, brother. We don't want to go.
We don't want to go. But how did Paul get mistaken for being an Egyptian? if he's a Hebrew Israelite. But you know, one something you have to be
right.
careful. We don't have time, but get your history book out. Go. Egypt was conquered by the Arabs.
That's right.
So now Egyptian don't look like no Africans no more.
That's right.
They don't even look like Africans no more.
That's right. That's right.
And you know what's strange? Even when they show that big museum over there with all them African artifacts, for years they used to keep the camera pointed towards the floor because the people on the artifact and the people in the museum don't look like the people that call themselves Egyptian now. Now Egyptian look like an Arab.
That's right.
Which Arab, which come out of Ishmael.
Right.
You know, but we ain't got time to go into all that. But why are these Hebrew Israelites being mistaken for an Egyptian, and an Egyptian come out of Egypt, which Egypt mean black?
That's right.
You know, let's go into Lamentation, Mark. Now this is setting us up for next week. Next week, because next week we're gonna deal with slavery. We're gonna deal with slavery next week. And I'm gonna, as we start to do, maybe you don't see that you a Hebrew Israelite yet, but wait until I slap slavery onto you. Let's go into Lamentation. Let's go into Lamentation. Because everybody knew what color we are. You know what? I wonder, can my crew play that? I want to show you something. We're going to show a little clip from a movie. The movie is called Hotel Rwanda. I want you to pay attention to this.
Hotel Rwanda.
Hotel Rwanda.
I'm just saying it. I'm just saying.
I was saying it in Hebrew. See.
And I was interpreting.
Okay, well, good. Oh, check out this.
You're the smartest man here. You got them all eating out of your hands. You could own this freaking hotel, except for one thing. You're black. You're not even a nigger. You're an African.
Now you see what he said. Now you know what? Do you remember what that movie was about? It was the Hutus killing the Tutsis, and over 1 million Tutsis got killed.
That's right.
He was black people's killing black people, but
That's
one
right.
was really Hebrew Israelite.
Right.
And they killed. But did you pay attention what Nick Nolte said to Don Cheadle in that movie? Did you pay attention? He said, "You not even. Why do you care about these people?"
That's right.
He said, "You are a African. You're not even a." Why would he say that? Because if you start reading, then now you should understand why everybody know this except us. Everybody know we not African.
That's right. That's right.
And if you can dig that movie up, go look at it. Even when they cast that movie, the people that played the one that was getting killed, which was the Tutsis, they look just like us.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that was doing the killing looked like African. So everybody knew this except us. And I wish I could I wish I had time to tell that story. That on my job, a guy was saying something like that one time. But he was talking to some Gentiles. And I'm going like, well, who is the little N word in here? It must have been me, and I didn't know it.
Yeah, probably so.
You think so? You know. But let's go into Lamentation. Lamentation 2. Let's go into Lamentation 2. And let's pick that up. Okay. Because everybody know you're not an African except you.
That's right, bro.
You know. Lamentation 2 and verse 1. Okay, go ahead.
How hath the Lord covered the daughters of Zion?
Now he's talking about Israel here. Go ahead.
With a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remember not his footstool in the day of his anger.
See, Jeremiah is lamenting about Israel. We in slavery now. This is what I'm setting it up for next week. Because next week we're going to deal with slavery. Go ahead.
The Lord hath swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob.
Now that's Israel. Go ahead.
And have not pitied. He hath thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughters of Judah.
Go ahead.
He hath brought them down to the ground. He hath polluted the kingdom and princes thereof.
Now skip down. Now let's go right into Lamentation 4. Because I just want to show you this is when Israel then went from being on top to the bottom. We gonna set all that up, because I'm just setting up the next Monday. We gonna deal with how did you end up in slavery? Because you done came out of Egypt. Now you with your first captivity with somebody that looked just like you. Now we gonna deal with the next captivity when you're among the Gentiles. Now Lamentation 4. Now let's take a look and see what color these peoples are. Lamentation 4 and 6. Go ahead.
For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughters of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her.
And see, he said Sodom and Gomorrah was overthrown in a minute. He said, but his hand has stayed on us.
That's right.
We came out of Egypt. God's hand was on us. Right. Then we was up for a minute. Then we've been down. God's hand been on us ever since slavery. Mm-hmm. You come out of slavery, you ran into Jim Crow. His hand been on us. And we gonna tell you why God is. If you read the Bible, you understand why God's hand is on you. We gonna tell you though. What verse was that?
That was 6.
Skip down to verse 8 and let's see what color their face was. Go ahead.
Their visage is blacker than a coal.
Now that's their appearance was what?
Blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaves to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick.
Now that's what they facial look. He said they was black. But let's go right over into Lamentation 5. Maybe they wasn't clear. Pick it up at verse 1. Go ahead.
Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us.
He said, Lord, remember what has come upon Israel. Go ahead.
Consider and behold our reproach.
Go ahead.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers. Our houses to aliens.
Now he's letting you know all the stuff that had happened to us. Skip down to verse 4 and read this. Go ahead.
We have drunken our water for money.
Now I seen that on 60 Minutes. Some people's down in New Orleans. They done come down and build a resort, and now they got to pay for their own. They forefathers, really their grandparents, own that land. Now the people that used to own the land is working for the people that own it. This is a reality. You gonna find out who Israel is. Finish that.
Our wood is sold unto us.
Now skip down to verse 8 and go ahead.
Servants have ruled over us. There is none that doeth deliver us out of their hand.
I remember my brother. He used to be he was a mechanic at a car dealership. But guess who used to tell him what to do? It was a Gentile, and he was a janitor. But he want to tell him what to do.
Wow. This
is what he's talking about here. He said the servants have rule over us. Everybody tell you what to do.
That's right.
But skip down to verse 10. Let me show you what color your skin was. Go ahead.
Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine.
Now you can't get hungry enough that you turn black.
No.
Mark, I know you've been hungry before.
Whatever. I ain't turned black.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Do you really think a white person gets so hungry that and then he turned black?
No.
These are blacks. I think we done established that them early peoples of the Bible was black people.
That's right.
And one now we finna separate ourselves in this next part and go with Israel once Israel is on top. Because God, like I said, God gave each one of Noah's sons an opportunity to kind of run this earth. Now the next somebody to be in charge is Israel out of Shem.
That's right.
Ham had, when they was down in Egypt, they said the sun didn't set. But it set in Egypt because Egypt was really where the money was at, where everything was at. But I think we done established pretty much that you can see that the people out of the Bible were black people. And there was two sets of black people. Right. And one was African and one is Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
And we gonna show you just in case you want to stick to being an African because somebody jumped up and named you African, just like somebody jumped up and named you a Negro. Somebody jumped up and named you color. Somebody jumped up and named you black. Somebody jumped up and named you Afro-American.
Right. But you know what, Brother Melvin, you said something earlier that we was going to flush something. We said it, but we never flushed it.
And you think I can still remember?
I can remember because I want to flush.
Okay, what was it?
We said we was going to flush us thinking that you just made me. No.
You had a senior moment. You ain't even old enough to have no senior moment. I'm going to flush you having a senior moment.
You said that we was going to flush us thinking that we sold ourselves into slavery.
Slavery, right,
Our own people.
right. We did not sell we was not sold in slavery by our people. So what you go to your cousin's house? Hey, how y'all doing?
Right.
Hey, I got some.
Right, but I'm going to flush that real quick, but keep on talking.
You know, I got some whiskey.
I'm going to flush that. I just had
now, so if we sold ourselves when we go to our uncle's house or cousin's house, man, I don't like that.
Right, right.
Let's sell them in slavery.
Right. Who decides who going to get sold?
Let's sell them in slavery.
Right.
You know, that don't even make sense.
That's
but we bought that story for so long.
That's right, brother.
That's why we doing our history, not doing his story. We gonna do our story.
That's right, brother.
And show you our story is tied up with the God of Israel.
That's right.
And you know, when you tie, you know, like I say, ain't nothing so special about you being a Hebrew Israelite. But the thing is, this is about setting the record straight, because God is the one setting this whole thing.
That's right.
And he chose to use Hebrew Israelites to do this thing. And then you gonna find out maybe you didn't do what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
And when you mess around with God, he don't like when you don't do what he tell you to do.
That's right.
Because what they say is it's a terrible thing to fall in the hand of a angry God.
That's right.
You know. And then another thing I want you to remember as we do this lesson. So what's really important about this, when you learn this, you won't be hating on nobody.
That's right.
And I ain't hating on nobody because I know the Lord is calling this story. We are living a story that's already been told.
That's right, bro.
And the whole story ain't about black, white,
that's right,
slavery, all that. It's about salvation. This whole thing, if you don't see it, we dealing with salvation.
That's right.
But we just showing you the people that God used. Ma, we done ran out of time, man. Time is running out again.
Time fly when you're having fun.
Man, I really enjoy.
Give us some thumbs up if you like today's topic. Give us some thumbs up and give us some hearts.
You've got to comment. Please type it in.
That's right.
We always go through and check them out. If you got questions, due to the fact that there's so much reading in these talk shows, we don't have time for the phone.
Right. Like it and share it and post it.
Like it, share it, post it. Y'all come on in my room. Come on in my room.
That's right.
Come on in my room. Hey, we will be back next week.
That's right.
Next week we gonna deal with slavery. Show you how, Mr. African American, how you got into slavery.
That's right.
Just keep coming in my room.
Keep telling people, because we all need to know this stuff. We all need to know this stuff. So keep telling people. Tell the children. Let the children watch.
Remember the three something: like, post, and share.
There you go.
Should the share be in the middle?
It don't matter. Like, post, and share.
Like, share, post.
Share, post, and like.
Like, yeah, we got it.
Hey, that's right.
And remember, check out that movie.
That's right. Hotel
We're going to show it one more time. We're going to show it one more time for you African can see it.
Check.
You're the smartest man here. You got them all eating out of your hands. You could own this freaking hotel, except for one thing. You're black.